Lee Sanders, covering all things wrestling entertainment and beyond since 2011. Hey, I meant to actually put a hat on right before I came on the air here. Actually, you know what? I got my hat right here. If you guys can just indulge me for a quick second. Let me get my hat here. Yeah, I meant to put on my damn hat. That's all good, though. What's going on, everybody? Happy Labor Day to you guys. For those of you that decided you were not going to celebrate the holiday this year, happy holiday to you. Hopefully it was a relaxing one. You caught up on some much needed rest. That is, if you had the day off from work. For those of you that unfortunately had to work today, or maybe you're going to be working right now, or depending on when you're going to be checking this out, maybe you're going to be checking this out while you're at work or on your way to work. Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate everything that you do. From one essential worker to another. Hey, we're all in this together, right? Luckily, I actually had the day off. I thought I was going to really be able to kick back and enjoy it with the family and everything, but we had got, well, you know, at least for me, unwelcome guests, and that pretty much had put a monkey wrench into things. So I pretty much stayed barricaded in the studio here all day, just doing some voiceovers, some voice editing stuff and all that. And I didn't partake in, I actually was supposed to cook. Believe it or not, I actually was supposed to cook earlier today, but once the unwanted guest had came, it was kind of just, I'm sure you guys can kind of relate to that, whether it's with an in-law or there's just somebody on a particular side of the family you don't particularly care about, and you're like, the biggest victim of it was my woman, because she kept trying to, check in on me and everything, and I just thought, I said, it's like, look, I was good because we went out earlier, we had bought the food, I already knew what all I was going to cook. Only thing we were missing was some tomatoes, lettuce, some diet sodas, just some last minute items, basically. We already had got the big bulk of the stuff, but once that guest popped up, it was, but she kept trying to shake me out of the funk, and I told her, I said, I'm like, I'm not going to be good, probably not till tomorrow. It's like, I already wasn't really looking forward to this holiday anyway. And I already told her, I said, look, I said, next year we just got to go do something. We got to go travel, go stay at a hotel, something, because honestly, I got to tell you something. And I'm sure you guys can definitely relate from this standpoint. When you're trying to dodge a certain person on whatever side of the family, there's somebody that you just don't want to see. You go, well, shit. If I'd have known ahead of time they were going to be coming, I would have made arrangements to go do something else, like not be here. And that's how I kind of felt. I was totally blindsided. How blindsided? This is how blindsided I was. I was so blindsided. I took a nap, having the impression that, okay, by the time I wake up, it was like a quick power nap, like about 90 minutes almost. I'm like, okay, by the time I wake up, time to start making the food, pretty much good to go. Everybody's able to eat at a decent time, and then, we're pretty much good to go. Knock on wood, my dieting is continuing to go fantastic. I am just a couple of pounds away from 225. Now, some of you guys may say, that's a lot. Well, when you look back, what was it? March of this year, right when the pandemic was first just white hot and just what the fuck, I actually weighed almost 260. So to go from that to almost 225 in just those matter of months, good progress on my end and everything. But I was trying to, play it smart, be pretty conservative, and just eat, real light. I had got some, and I'd like to know how you guys enjoyed it, if those of you had picked it up yourselves. But I was supposed to make some Beyond Burgers. It was awesome to now see them being sold at my local store. And I missed the sale last week, because last week it was on sale for $3.99. My ass was buying 2-packs, and you only get 2 already pre-made patties of these damn things. I missed the sale, so I had to pay like $8.99 for those things. But I was going to go real light and all of that, and yeah, just big old monkey wrench. But yeah, shout out to you guys. If you tried the Beyond burgers there. Let me know how you guys liked it. I'm not talking about the joints that Burger King was offering. I'm talking about the joints that's actually at your local grocery store that you could buy for, if it's on sale, $4. If it ain't on sale, then you're paying $9. But hey, Raw tonight, you kind of got to go with the motions for this week's Raw, because on the one hand, there were a couple of elements that were, oh, okay, this is all right, but it was just, I tell you what, nothing made me have a hearty laugh and gave me a nice big chuckle than seeing the Mysterio family beat the bejesus out of Murphy with the kendo sticks. I'm looking at Mama Mysterio, and y'all know that's what I've been dubbing her for the longest now, Mama Mysterio, and the daughter of Aaliyah. By the way, the camera, I tell you, when it comes to Aaliyah, the camera, there are certain people you look at in front of a camera and you go, they're not exactly photogenic, they're not exactly camera friendly, but Aaliyah, the camera is very nice to her. Is it not? I'll ask you guys. I think the camera is very nice on her. And again, I gotta follow up on what I had said a couple of weeks ago, at least 2 weeks ago, which is, I'm not sure if she's getting that itch, if she is close to maybe wanting to get involved in the business, if maybe she wants to pursue in a wrestling career or what. But very photogenic, very camera face friendly, looks good on her. I mean, everything, just, you know, you could do something with Aaliyah. That's the whole point that I'm making. You could definitely do something with Aaliyah. So I'm going to be watching her career very, very closely, because so many years now, all we just kept hearing about was Dominic Mysterio, have we not? All these years, Dominic, and yet we really haven't heard peep out of Aaliyah. So, to the point, I ain't gonna even bullshit you guys, I totally forgot that there was a Mysterio daughter. That's how low-key she's been. I totally blanked out that there was a Mysterio daughter. So, but no, nothing put a bigger smile on my face and had me chuckle as I was getting ready to come on the air than seeing the entire Mysterio family with kendo sticks just beating the living crap out of Murphy. I enjoyed that on so many levels, especially given the fact of about 2 weeks ago, I said, come on, we got to see Mama Mysterio get physical. And shout out to you guys, because there were some of you guys out there, you were saying, yeah, Lee, look, did you see the guns on Mama Mysterio? Mama Mysterio got some guns, yo. Yeah, I'm trying to see her throw down too. I want to see her manhandle Seth Rollins. I love the fact that y'all was peeping that out too, because from the moment we first were reintroduced to her a couple of weeks ago, you go, damn, this girl, not only does she have height over Ray Ray, but she's also pretty well built. Like, this girl looked like she could handle herself if it goes down to a fight or something. She looked like she could hold it herself. She could hold her own and everything. So to see Mama Mysterio finally get physical there, I just love that whole when Rey Mysterio was handing Mama Mysterio a kendo stick. Come on, honey, come on, go and hit him. And I'm not mocking Hispanics, so don't even come at me with your hate. I will just do whatever impression comes to mind. But you got Ray just handing Mama Mysterio the kendo stick. Come on, honey, get in on this. You know, it almost kind of reminded me of Goodfellas a little bit to a certain degree. You know, or better yet, I don't know how old school you are when it comes to movies, but it almost reminds me of one of the first scenes of Serpico with Al Pacino, one of my all-time favorite Al Pacino movies, Serpico. Look that up. And let me tell you something. It's amazing. Not to get too political, but we are going to get political because Andrew Yang decided that he wanted to get the wrestling fans in his corner by taking some shots at Vince McMahon. Ties into the whole Vinnie Mac telling the talent, hey, no more third-party contracts. We're going to get into all of that because I have yet to speak on this. Pretty much happened late going into the weekend. So it's going to be an awesome show that we got for you guys. So do stick around. But before we dive into that, you know, I'm looking, going back to the whole Mama Mysterio thing and everything. You know, I'm looking at this. And I'm saying to myself, man, you know, you got Ray. He's just, honey, here, come on, get some of this. And it reminded me of the earliest scene in Serpico where once Al Pacino, as Frank Serpico, has joined the police force, he captures this black guy. Actually, I think he caught like 3 black guys. Did he not? I think he caught 3 black guys that had raped a woman, or they were trying to rape a woman. And the woman was explaining, once they were down at the police precinct, the woman was explaining to them what all had went down. This person did this, and this person did that. And if I screamed, yada, 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 yada. And they pretty much had took her out, and one of the detectives had said, she's going to make a great witness. What a powerful statement that was. Man, this is a slam dunk case. This is awesome. And so after they got rid of the woman, the one black guy, it's coming back to me now. There were 2 additional guys that ended up getting captured, but when Serpico was first doing the foot chase, trying to capture the guys, he was only able to home in on one of them because the other 2 had split. So he was basically able to capture, the one that pretty much was going straight, while the other 2, one went left and the other one went right. He pretty much went for the one that was going right down the middle. So the one in the middle was the one that was apprehended. He's down at the police precinct and everything. And while they're booking him and everything, a rogue detective decides, okay, I'm gonna beat the holy shit out of this dude, and he's gonna give me the information that I want. And as he's beating the crap out of him, first he kicks him in the balls, right? And then to add insult to injury, he picks up a big ass book of fucking yellow pages, and he just cocks him in the head with it. And then he looks up at Serpico and he goes, "Hey Frank, you want a piece of this?" And Pacino, he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna go foul." He's like, so that's what it kind of reminded me of to a certain degree, because you got Dominic Mysterio. I wanted to say Mysterio and Son, so you guys gotta forgive me because that flows off of my tongue better. But you got Mysterio and Son that are beating the crap out of Murphy with the kendo sticks, and then you got Ray Ray going to Mama Mysterio, "Come on, honey, don't you want some?" And she just has this look on his face like, no, I'm good. Really, I don't want any. No. And Mysterio's, "Come on, honey, get him, come on. And finally she starts. But see, my whole thing is, if you're gonna go in on that, and it's already been set up beforehand, y'all already know you're supposed to get physical with these kendo sticks and everything. Come on, man, don't just go in and don't just go blap. Don't just do that. You already worked it out beforehand that, okay, this is where you're gonna hit me. Okay, yeah, it's gonna leave a bruise and all that. Hey, it's all good. Just come in, make it look real good for the people at home. Just go in heavy. Don't worry about me. Just gonna be some bruises, gonna be some welts. I'll be alright. Just gotta give me a couple of days, give me some Vaseline, give me some icy hot. I'll be alright. And like when you first watch the daughter, Aaliyah, and you watch Mama Mysterio, they're going in kind of, we really don't want to hurt you. And I don't know if freaking Ray and Dominic off the cuff were going, "You gotta lay it in heavy, man." I don't know what, but the next thing you know, after the first initial hits that were just kind of, I don't really do this, but after the first couple of hits, then they finally just start wailing on him. And I'm like, there you go. And I actually yelled at the TV. I said, yes, beat him like he stole some money from you. Beat him good. That was good, though. That was good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that on so many levels. No, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't remember seeing Seth Rollins at all tonight. If he showed up, I might have been doing something else. I'll have to rely on you guys, but because I would say I saw at least about 97 to 99% of the show tonight. I was moving around a lot, going up and down the stairs, doing some stuff, but I don't recall seeing Seth Rollins. So I'll throw it back on you guys. If y'all did see him tonight, let me know what was the circumstance, but I thought maybe at least I was going to see some type of a backstage talking segment between he and Murphy, but to my knowledge, because nothing's clicking right now, I don't recall seeing anything like that. But good street fight match. Dominic picking up the W there, and the family just pretty much to close out Raw, just continuing to go belligerent with the kendo sticks. It felt like the end of a Looney Tunes skit, I gotta tell you. I don't know, maybe it was the Looney Tunes skit where freaking Wile E. Coyote, He's you know the Wile E. Coyote joint where he's trying to steal sheeps and he's on the clock and the sheepdog is on the clock as well, and once the whistle blows, good night, Ralph. Good night, Al, or whatever the hell his name was. It was kind of like one of those type of things, and I remember when it ended, the sheepdog was just punching the living crap out of Wile E. Coyote, and then the bell whistles, woohoo! And then another sheepdog clocks in. Wile E. Coyote stays right where he is, and then the other coyote, as he's clocking in, he says to the other one, good night, Ralph, and you're like, good night, Steve. And then the other fucking sheepdog just grabs the neck and continues on. That's what it kind of reminded me of, seeing freaking Murphy just continuing to get this shit kicked out of him. Loved it on so many levels. That was great shit, man. That was great shit. Let's talk about some other key points from Raw tonight, because I mean, I don't want this to be a full-blown Raw recap. I only want to talk about the key highlights and everything, because we got a lot we got to dive into, and I got to let you know something straight up. Your man right here's got an early day tomorrow with regards to work, so normally I say something along those lines and we end up going past the cutoff time. I'm letting you know right now, I want to have this show be done in about an hour, maybe to an hour 15 minutes at most, since we are going to be coming right back Tuesday night for NXT Super Tuesday. So we're going to do about an hour 15 minutes, and then that's going to be it. But yeah, some other key points from Raw for this week. We saw a rare Monday Night Raw appearance from the SmackDown Tag Champions, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. And the reason why they were here, you're thinking to yourself, okay, we're about 3 weeks away from Clash of Champions, so maybe, just maybe, champions of SmackDown, the tag champions of SmackDown, maybe they're here to issue some type of a challenge to the Raw Tag Champions for Clash of Champions. I think we're kind of going in that path, but the challenge that was issued by Cesaro and Nakamura, they heard how Street Profits are the current longest reigning Raw Tag Champions, and they gave them props and everything, but at the same time they said, well, look, let's be honest, it's not like you guys are going around defending those titles every single week, so what we propose is let's have a match, champions versus champions, next week. So that's exactly what we're going to be seeing, is tag champions versus tag champions next week. Also, what we had saw tonight on Raw, I don't know how many of you guys gave a damn about it, but look, we got to talk about it anyway, right? We got to talk about it. Billie Kay took on Peyton Royce. Okay, so just a week after we saw the breakup of the Iconics. And I said on this show, I said, as far as having stock in one of those girls as a singles competitor, yeah, sure, I'm down with Peyton Royce. And I was the first one of the first at least, to admit to you guys, hey, I'm not saying she's going to be the next Trish Stratus. She's not going to be the next Sasha Banks, the next Charlotte Flair, nothing along those lines. But do I see potential in her? Yeah, I do. Do I think she deserves an opportunity? Yeah, I think she does. Let's see what can happen. I mean, look, I know a lot of people may probably shit on this. They don't particularly care for Peyton Royce and everything, but look, Dana Brooke got numerous opportunities, and we've pretty much seen how that's done her, right? We've seen Lana continue to get opportunities after opportunities after opportunities. We've continued to see Natty to some degree. Why not try and switch things up a little bit just to see what could potentially happen? I think the reason why there's probably a decent amount of people that aren't as invested in a Peyton Royce singles run right now, they're probably just in general thinking about the obnoxious promos, the skits that she was involved in with Billie Kay. They're probably also, I mean, not for nothing, but every single time Billie Kay gets in there and she's got to do a little something, that's kind of devalued overall both girls if you really kind of stop and think about it. So when you've spent all of this time, it's almost kind of like I'm trying to figure out a really good analogy I could use for you guys right now. But basically, not a food analogy either. It's not one of those type of analogies I'm going with. But it's almost kind of like, let's just say you've got a really fine piece of jewelry that's worth in the thousands. It's beautiful, it's shiny, it's sparkling, it's real pure freaking cut diamonds. And it's worth thousands. But here's the problem. These diamonds are constantly surrounded by horse manure. First thing that's coming to my mind right now. They're constantly surrounded by horse manure. Now, this horse manure, it may smell a little good. Every time you get around it, it may smell whatever your favorite scent is. French toast, Honey Nut Cheerios, baby powder, I don't care. Just whatever your favorite smell is in the world. That's what the horse manure smells like. But every single time visually you see it, you go, but you go, wait. There's diamonds there. There's diamonds in there that's worth thousands of dollars. You just gotta filter through that and check out the diamonds. I can't believe I just used that analogy when I'm talking about Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. I hope people don't take it the wrong way, but I think you kind of understand the point that I'm making. I think that wrestling fans have just gotten so programmed a certain way. And okay, when I see this particular talent, okay, all right, like Dolph Ziggler. Every time you see Dolph Ziggler, we just talked about this, I think, last week. Every time you see Dolph Ziggler, what's the case? Oh, who's he putting over this week? Yeah, we already know he ain't really getting nothing. He ain't winning no title. Well, who's he putting over this week? Oh, yeah. That should be a good match, yeah. All right, yeah, it's good. So, I think fans in general have gotten programmed to a certain degree when they're looking at particular individuals, and I totally get it. I totally get it if folks are looking at Peyton Royce and they're going, yeah, singles run, forgive me, but I really don't give a fuck. I get it, especially after a lackluster start on the main roster. I get that. Now, which brings me to this point. Everything's still connected. We just saw them break up last week. And already we're doing this one-on-one match. That for me was just, wow, there was nobody else that was available to wrestle this week. Nobody else. Seriously, like nobody. We couldn't even call up somebody from NXT. Seriously, we could not call up somebody from NXT. We couldn't have, and I'm always ranting and raving about her and everything. We couldn't have Santana Garrett take on freaking Peyton Royce if we're supposed to start giving a fuck about this is the new and improved Peyton Royce. You ain't never seen her like this before. And you never will again. It's like, okay, yeah. Remember Peyton Royce? Yeah, I do. I do. Remember that tag team she was in? Yeah. Remember how you felt she was being held down by lackluster talent from her partner? Yeah. Well, now you get to see her like you've never seen her before. And why is that? Because she will be in singles competition. Oh, okay, great. Yeah. Are you excited? I'm curious. Are you excited? Okay, sure, I'm excited. Then here we go. Here's her first opponent. Now that she's broken away from the Iconics. Yeah. Who are we gonna get? Her first opponent, Billie Kay. Come on, man. And we couldn't have Billie Kay again. Dip into the NXT pool and pluck whatever girl you wanna pluck. We couldn't do the same thing with Billie Kay. Come on, man. This was just it just felt like killing time. It really did. It just felt like killing time. And I never in my life was so disinterested before in my entire life. And I tell you what, I hate to rush to, I did say rush, just the way it rolls off of my tongue sometimes. I hate to rush to conclusions, but If this is what I can expect, then this singles run for both respected women, more so Peyton Royce, is off to a pretty bad, bumpy start. Did not like that. I didn't like that. I wasn't really impressed. I gotta tell you, I wasn't really impressed. I wouldn't blame it if there were a decent amount of you guys that really wasn't impressed with what you saw tonight as well. Mickie James and Asuka, they were in action this week. They were in tag team action. I don't have their opponents, though. I saw the tag match, but I was in and out, so I have to rely on you guys as far as who the opponents were they had faced tonight. But an interesting development for next week's Raw as Mickie James and Asuka, they are going to be facing off one-on-one. Again, next week on Raw is going to be for the Raw Women's title. I'm actually looking forward to that matchup. Man, I just hope that those two girls, come on, I mean, when it's all said and done, you got 3 hours of programming you got to kill. 3 hours of programming. And you've got two of the very best on your main roster right now that can put on a freaking clinic. Anything less than 10 minutes of a match with these two women, and it's for the championship, don't waste fans' times in my book. It's an insult to them. It's an insult to them. I would be greatly disappointed. Letting you know that right now. Again, anything less than 10 minutes, I would be tremendously disappointed. So hopefully these girls, they get at least, if you ask me what's the perfect number for seeing these girls in a match, I hope they can get up to 15 minutes. If they can get 12 minutes and up, I'm happy. I'm happy. Let them go out there. Let them tell their story. But to give them less than 10 minutes, yeah, no, forget about it. So looking forward to that. That should be pretty good. Matter of fact, I'm actually looking in my notes right now to see some additional notes to see who were the women that Mickie James and Asuka have faced. I remember them picking up the W. I just cannot remember the opponents right now. Give me a second here. I can actually see who it was they were facing here. It looks like they faced, hang on. Looks like they have faced, that's match 1, match 2, match 3. I'm on match 3. Hang on. There it is. Lana and Natty. No wonder why I don't remember it, because it was Lana and Natty. So really, who they were taking on was just Natty. that's really the opponent that they were facing tonight. No wonder I don't remember that match, though. Seriously, no wonder I don't remember that match. Interesting development with regards to the Hurt Business. Now that I did see play out early on in the night. So the Hurt Business, they have a new member, and that new member is, and it really should be no surprise, Cedric Alexander. They actually were able to successfully recruit Cedric Alexander. We got to rewind it back just a little bit and take it back to the first match that we had got of the night. It was Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin taking on Apollo Crews, Cedric Alexander, and Ricochet. I don't know if you guys remember this, but a couple of weeks ago, I had toyed with the idea that Cedric Alexander was probably most likely going to end up going to the Hurt Business as a result of some type of a weird position where he would be the odd man out. And the perfect analogy that I can use, I didn't use it at the time when I was talking about this, but the perfect analogy as far as kind of how I was picturing it, I was picturing Cedric Alexander basically being that kid that is on the playground hoping that when it comes to dodgeball or when it comes to, first one the 12 points or 20 points basketball, and, it comes to, okay, so hopefully Cedric Alexander gets picked up. Hopefully his friends pick him up and he's on their team, and the friends don't pick Cedric Alexander for whatever respected reason. Hey, sorry, Cedric, but Kenny's got better handles than you. Or, sorry, Cedric, but man, that last game, David had a fucking sure hot hand, man. You know, nothing personal. And then the other team, they don't even pick him. So he's constantly the odd man out. So when you're constantly the odd man out, stuff festers within, basically. And then when you have a guy like MVP and the Hurt Business continuing to go in and just chisel away, yeah, eventually, especially if you're already shaken in your confidence and you're already a bit perturbed, yeah, eventually you're gonna snap. And literally that's what we saw tonight. One point, Apollo Crews, he tried to reach for Ricochet, but Cedric had grabbed Ricochet by his ankles and just pretty much just dropped his ass, and then clotheslined the shit out of him, just gave him a quick little beat down. And the Hurt Business, they're enjoying this. They're loving exactly what they're seeing. And pretty much as a result of that, Cedric entered the ring, did the lumbar check to Apollo. MVP is hyped. He knows exactly what's going on. Shelton is watching on. Lashley's watching on and everything. They pretty much had picked up the scraps and everything. Shelton Benjamin, he pretty much hits the pay dirt. Get the W. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Her Business picks up the W. Later on in the night, they catch up with Cedric. They give him a Hurt Business t-shirt. On the back, it says, "I'm in." Of course, Shelton, very curious. Shelton a little bit on the fence here. Shelton not exactly warm to the idea just yet of Cedric Alexander finally having his Jesus moment, if you will, and coming to his senses, wanting to know, yeah, what gave? Seriously, like, we've been coming after you for weeks. Convince me. Come on, what's up? And later on in the night, you pretty much had got an MVP lounge segment where Cedric was given an opportunity to speak, and pretty much he had said, look, all these weeks, y'all beating my ass. MVP, the talk that you gave to me and everything, I'm all about, looking out for my best interests. I want to keep earning some really good money. Can't really do that if I'm just hanging out in the back by catering. So pretty much everything that MVP was saying. That's why Cedric Alexander ultimately caved in and everything. So there was a match that we would see go down shortly after that. We would actually see Ricochet, Apollo Crews, the Viking Raiders. They all came out, and you pretty much had a 8-man tag match after that. From that 8-man tag match, now see, I was a little distracted right here. I want to say from that 8-man tag match, yeah, it's coming back to me now because I remember the finish going, what the hell was that? It looked like a botch or something. Hurt Business, they picked up the win. And the reason why I'm saying, what the hell? So the closing moments, I remember it was Ricochet taking on Cedric Alexander. And there was a weird sequence that went down, but the last burning image I have in my mind is Alexander went for the cover. The ref counts 1, he counts 2. Ricochet kicks out. And you're going, wait a minute. But the ref calls for the bell. And even Michael Cole and them are going, oh, and he kicked out. But then when you hear the Hurt Business music playing, Michael Cole goes, oh, he picked up the win. And so it's, wait a minute, Cole, which one is it? And, I love you guys that follow me on social media and everything. But when I say something particularly online, it doesn't always mean you gotta have a retort. It doesn't always mean you have to go out of your way to reply. I put out this simple tweet. I had to delete it because it was starting to blow up a little bit. I put out this simple tweet, and with regards to that, what I just watched, and I said, what the hell did I just watch? I'm being sarcastic here. There's really no need to reply. That just came off a bit sloppy. And all of a sudden, I had these people that were acting like the fucking John McEnroe cam. Oh no, it was clean. It was okay. Well, explain this to me for you guys that were pausing and looking frame for fucking frame. I'm sorry, I don't have time for that. This is what I don't understand. If it was meant to go down the way that it was meant to go down, then what I don't understand is why didn't WWE show from the many angles that they have at their disposal to let the viewers at home know, no, what you guys had watched, it wasn't a botch by any means that you all were seeing. You know, it actually was a finish. You know, the referee actually did count to 3 before Ricochet kicked out. You know, here's this angle, you know, in case you guys, I mean, we're so used to seeing replays in NBA and football. Lord knows, particularly in NBA, that shit is exhausting. I mean, you could go make yourself a fucking hot pocket, hot toddy, or whatever hottie you want. Get yourself a damn hottie. Wink, wink. You know, the way those NBA fucking timeouts be going on when the referees are trying to see what the hell is going on the monitors, previous play or whatever. But in this particular case, you know, it's like if I gotta go, wait a minute, and then I don't have WWE showing me the multiple camera angles, and I'm hearing the commentators sounding confused as hell, it's not exactly good. That's the whole point. And there were so many people that were missing that on so many levels. Everybody was just wanting to be so quick on chiming in their own opinion. You know, oh no, he's clean. Oh, there was a pin. No, it's like, you're missing the little things. You know, that's what you really need to be paying attention to. It's the little things that really, really count. But yeah, it was sloppy. Look, trust me when I say this. I don't know how many of you guys out there are fans of Botchamania, but trust me when I say Botchamania is going to be having a nice little field day with that. I can just picture the captioning and all of that. It's going to end up on there. All right, I'm just looking at the rest of the card here to see if there's anything else from Raw that we should be talking about for this week. Nope. So we talked about that. There was a glitch in the Matrix again. Keith Lee taking on Randy Orton. Yeah, Groundhog's Day once again. Drew McIntyre interfered in this. Drew McIntyre getting a little bit of retribution from a couple of weeks ago. What Randy Orton had did to him, putting him in the ambulance and everything. We actually saw Randy Orton trying to cut a little promo to essentially kick off Raw, but Drew came on, made his entrance with that same ambulance he rode in. Maybe that's a taste of things to come as far as what type of match we might be getting soon. I don't know. But anyway, Drew came out taking the fight to Randy Orton shortly after that. And he got the upper hand. Shortly after that, Adam Pearce called up to Drew saying, hey, man, look, you're not officially cleared to be here just yet. You know, why are you out here? You're risking your health. Like, you really shouldn't be out here. I just can't have you here. You know, you need to be done for the night. And Drew, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I am going to be done for the night. I just got to get my phone. I got to make sure that I'm able to call collect with 1-800-COLLST. It helps me be able to call my family anywhere in the world. Just let me find my phone and get out of here. Get out of your hand, okay? And you're like, okay, you kind of see where this is going. He's probably going to interfere in the Keith Lee match. Sure enough, he interferes in the Keith Lee match. I think the referee might have been distracted there. I'm trying to remember if the ref was distracted at all there. I don't think the ref was distracted. No, I don't think the ref was distracted. Drew McIntyre comes in. Claymore kicks the hell out of Orton. Continuing to book Keith Lee rather smart. Continuing to protect Keith Lee there. I gotta tell you, they've been on a good streak, have they not, since Keith Lee has come onto the main roster. Right down to just a tiny little bit of details there. One that jumps out at me off the break, I just love the fact that when Randy Orton tried to go for that RKO the very first time, Keith Lee successfully doesn't budge. He's like, no, you ain't taking me down. Nah, this early? No, you ain't taking me. I mean, he's just standing there holding his ground. Randy Orton's trying to freaking drop, and Keith Lee is not budging as he's literally grabbing onto the waist of Orton, and he's just like, nah, it ain't happening. So match continues on. There was at least 2 times Orton trying to look for the RKO, and he wasn't able to get it. But the third time was the charm. But that time, when he connected finally, Drew McIntyre just came out of nowhere. I got a receipt for you, lad. I got a receipt for you. I'm trying to dial collect 1-800-COLL-ECT. Laid his ass out. So that match pretty much was, if you want to get technical, you could kind of make the argument Randy Orton won via DQ. I mean, you can kind of make that argument. Adam Pearce grilling verbally into McIntyre. Hey, I thought you were done. I told you to take the night off. You know, you're not supposed to be here. You're risking your health. I'm going, lad. I'm going. Just had to find my phone. I'm going now. Like, okay. Yeah, you do that, brother. You do that. Other than that, oh yeah, I gotta show my girls a little bit of love here. I almost forgot about this because that's how brief this was, and it was almost an afterthought. Shayna Baszler had faced Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. This was pretty much a little bit of showboating here on the side of a continuation of the new Raw tag. No, they're not Raw. I keep saying Raw or SmackDown women's tag, but there's only one women's tag right now besides the NXT girls. There's only one women's tag right now. So actually, no, now that I think, no, there's just one women's tag belt that's running around right now. Crazy. I don't know. I'm so used to all these titles just being all around. It's like, you get a title and you get a title and you get a title, and janitor, you get a title. Hot dog vendor man, you get a title. But no, this was pretty much a case of Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Show me what you can do. You talk a good game. Come on, show me what you can do. What you got? And so Shayna Baszler taking on Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan. This was pretty much a handicap match. Shayna grabs Liv, tries to go for the Samoan drop, but instead Liv Morgan rolls her up for a 1-2-3. Shocking upset. Nia Jax is outside of the ring. She's laughing her ass off. She was actually talking a whole bunch of hot trash to Baszler, and Baszler was kind of distracted about this. I can't really complain about this, but you know, at the same time, it's kind of like, you know, this is Shayna. Come on now, it's Shayna Baszler. Like, did we really have to? But if you're trying to further advance Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, then I kind of, in this case, have to take a little bit of the bitter with the sweet. Do I not? Do we all not as fans? So, yeah, that's how you kind of have to take it. All right, so after that, Nia Jax. Let me show you how it's done, sister. Nia Jax taking on Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan. This one pretty much ends with a kick from Ruby to the face. Liv shoves Nia, then hits knee to face. 1-2-3. Got a little bit of some fuckery that's going on right here. This pretty much ended in a no contest. So obviously the way this is kind of panning out right now, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, maybe they're going to be able to slide in there and have themselves a tag match there against Shayna and Nia. Hey, I'm all fine for it. Let's see. Other than that, Retribution, there was a video package. we finally got Retribution, because I'm just saying to myself, wow, you know, we haven't really seen Retribution here. They missed a couple of pay-per-views, and you know, what the fuck do they want? Why are they here? Do they want coffee? Do they want a Fig Newton? You know, why do they keep doing what they keep doing? Like, what the hell is going on here? Props to them finally having some type of a logo thing going on. You know, technically you could say it wasn't really a logo, but at least now you kind of got a little something that's going on with them. I'm still not feeling their ninja inspired costumes. I still feel that kind of needs to change a little bit. But basically, Retribution, they finally spoke. And I mean at great length. And they did this with gargled Christian Bale Batman voice. Yeah, that's how they did it. Pray to me! You know, they kind of did kind of one of those type of deals. But they basically said in a nutshell that WWE left them to survive in an unfair world. They are left to feed on nothing but the scraps of contempt And as a result of that, they're driven to destroy and lay waste to every superstar and fan. Blinded, we cannot see what we do not have. So the locus of content will feed upon all of us. The darkness of retribution will seep into the pores of every superstar and all of the WWE universe. And as a result, they are retribution. So, yeah. That was it. It kind of seems like I've seen this play around for a couple of weeks now. So, if you were now to ask me, so Lee, who do you think is probably going to make up Retribution? Dominik Dijakovic, Mia Yim. I could see Kaden Carter, but also, if not Kaden Carter, though it'd be nice if she was in there. What's my girl's name? Amber Moon. If I can't have both of those girls, then one of them, I think for sure. That's where I'm kind of at right now. As far as who else could maybe, I'm just thinking about like the initial, because it kind of seemed like with tonight, they really shortened it there. It seemed as though rather than, okay, we're just going to home in on about 10, 12, 15 fucking people roaming around, it seems like this go round, they just tightened it up on 5 individuals. Those of you that had watched Raw, I'm not sure if you were counting along with me as well, but it really seemed like they just wanted to really simplify things. Just let's let it be about 5 people. Here's something to maybe consider as well. Just something to consider. Keith Lee, is he a member of Retribution? Because if you're going to have possibly Mia Yim in there now, I'm just saying. Something to think about. Of course, you got to do some serious backstory there. Okay, well, how do you explain what Mia Yim's been doing on NXT if you're also going to have her part of Retribution? So should Mia Yim really be part of Retribution is the question I'm getting at. Do have a poll asking you guys, what did you think about this week's Raw? We got the poll up on Twitter at the RCWR Show. Give me a follow over there while you're at it. Also got a poll on YouTube, youtube.com/the RCWR Show. Go click over on the Communities tab and you can cast your vote that way. But let's go to Twitter, see what you guys had to say about Raw for this week. Right now, I am seeing 14% of you are giving Raw a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 86% of you are giving it a thumbs down. And, I don't need all that commentating. Just cast a vote, man. That's all you got to do. Just cast a vote. All right, let's go to YouTube. See what you guys had to say there. Don't mind me. I'm just talking side chatter shit. Don't mind me. All right, let's see what you guys are saying on YouTube. YouTube's still early, so if you don't have Twitter, go to YouTube. Just whatever's more comfortable for you. Whatever's more convenient. YouTube, Communities tab. 40% of you, again, 40% of you giving it a thumbs down. 60% of you are giving it a thumbs up. It's almost kind of like SmackDown if you really stop and think about it. It's almost kind of like SmackDown. SmackDown this past Friday, there was a couple of good parts that you had in there for SmackDown, and then pretty much the rest of it was just, Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns. Oh, man. To finally hear them both speak and how that union kind of came to be, if you will. I like that. I like that. Long time coming. I'm happy. And I love the fact that all the people that were bitching after that Payback pay-per-view.
You guy just shows up. He just shows up. He don't even do nothing because he gets the title.
And what happens to Roman Reigns the next time we see him? His shirt is tweaked. His shirt logo is tweaked. Rather than the shirt say wreck havoc and leave, the joint just says show up and win. And Like, I love it. I love it because that was the main consensus that so many fans that were so hot, they were so triggered by what it's like, man, you're totally missing it. And that's part of what I was saying on social media. So many people were trying to act like they needed a thesaurus or something to try to figure out what I was talking about. Like, why was I talking in riddles and all that? I'm like, y'all are missing the bigger picture. For those of you that don't know, like, I put a tweet out, and it wasn't cryptic at all, but I put a tweet out basically saying, I said, folks are going to be so hell-bent, and they're going to be so bent out of shape over the finish to the main event match for the Universal title, that they're going to be missing the bigger picture that's going to be at hand with Roman Reigns. And my message to everybody, again, this was all in the tweet. I said, my message was to them was, just kick back and enjoy the ride for what it's worth. Enjoy the overall storytelling. Otherwise, you're going to miss it if you just focus on just one particular layer. And so to see so many people that were so triggered over,
he just shows up. He just shows up and he gets the title.
And it's like, you're missing it. You're missing it. So if you didn't see SmackDown this past Friday, I definitely would tell you guys straight up, look, wasn't a lot of action, but there's definitely some parts to stick around for. And the Paul Heyman Roman Reigns, that definitely was one. That definitely was one. Sasha Banks, Bayley, oh, I enjoyed that. I loved that. That was great. Wasn't that great for those of you that watch SmackDown? Wasn't that particular segment great? Oh my God, great tag match. And then, the knees of Sasha Banks, what's going on? Is she going to be okay? What's going on with them knees? Bayley, she's my friend. She's my friend. Let her be. I got her. I'll take care of her. Let her be. And she just lays in heavy with the attacks on freaking Sasha Banks. This is what we wanted, right? We've been waiting for this for a long time. A long time, have we not? And we finally got it. We finally got it. For me, I want to say this, and I don't want to be long-winded with this. First of all, the way that segment was executed this past Friday, how that was written, how that was booked, but most importantly, how both of those women went out there and they executed perfectly. I mean, they hit a home run. My hat's off to everybody, but particularly Banks and Bayley. They hit a home run there. If I had one little, a little too long, just a little bit too long, but you know what? I can look past that. It probably should have ended about 4 to 5 minutes sooner, but you know what? I can put that to the side and I can I'm okay. I love it. This really helped take Bayley to another level. God, I got the TV on Investigation Discovery right now. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but there is a guy that's going Highlander, I think, on his girlfriend. I mean, he is cutting the shit out of homegirl with a fucking sword. I bullshit you not. I mean, he is just really... What the fuck am I even watching? What is this TV on anyway? Your Worst Nightmare. I don't know how many of you guys watch that show. Your Worst Nightmare. That's what's on right now. And apparently the synopsis for this episode: single mom Joy Parshin finds love with Jonathan Pearson, but after the couple moved to Florida with Joy's daughter, troubles spiral until they hit a bloody point of no return. Yeah, I'll say, because he's taking a fucking sword, a samurai sword, to his fucking girl. Good God almighty. Anyway, where was I? This took Bayley to another level, and it added a new dimension. It added a new layer to her heel run. Did it not? And then for Sasha Banks, let's put it on Sasha Banks for a bit. For Sasha Banks, we were already starting to feel just a tiny little bit sympathetic towards Sasha because Sasha lost the belt. But she still got this. Well, Sasha lost that one. Okay, well, hey, Sasha still got her bestie, so it's all good. They still tight, yeah. But you kept seeing more and more subtle shots that were coming in from Bayley. And the payoff was what we got last Friday. And that whole payoff for me, I mean, you can say Bayley has gotten power hungry and everything else that comes along with it, to the point failure is not an option anymore. And if you're going to continue to fail, I don't need that kind of dead weight. I don't need that kind of funk around me, because I'm all about that championships and that cash and carry. I'm all about them C's. So I love it. And as I've always said on this show for many years, the chase is better than the catch. Now we're going to see Sasha Banks chasing after Bayley for that title. Oh, I'm so down. I'm looking forward to this. I really am. I really am. Just when I think I've seen just about everything in regards to Sasha Banks, because I'll be honest with you, Sasha Banks, man, she can put in some really damn good matches. She can. Bayley as well, but I want to home in on Sasha Banks for a second. Sasha Banks can put in some really damn good matches, but she always reaches that particular point in her career where you go, about time I had a break from you. Nothing personal, but I kind of need a little bit of refresher, and it doesn't help when she takes the snide little shots and makes the remarks that she does on social media and everything. That doesn't kind of help her and everything. But it's like, just when you get to a point where you say, I'm good on the Sasha Banks, something new happens and you go, well, this piqued my interest. I think I might want some more of this. And that's exactly what happened with me on Friday when I was seeing SmackDown. Jey Uso, the new number one contender that's going to be taking on his cousin Roman Reigns and Night of Champions. Didn't see that coming. Did not see that one coming at all. One thing about this, I understand, and I have no problem with how they explain the whole Big E, because Big E was supposed to be in there, but Jey Uso managed to get that spot because Sheamus jumped Big E. Pretty much still salty about what went down from the pay-per-view and everything. Okay, all right, so these two guys are pretty much going to continue on their feud. Okay, whatever, fine. One problem that I did have, though, Talking Smack. Not sure how many of you guys had watched Talking Smack. I heard that Xavier Woods was the new host. I said, okay, you know what? Let me show this brother some love. I love Xavier Woods. Once in a while, I'll check out his Up, Up, Down, Down channel. And, if you're following me on social media, I actually gave him my endorsement to be one of the new hosts for G4 TV when it relaunches next year. I think he would do fantastic as the new host for particularly X-Play. I think he would do phenomenal. Of course, you gotta have a female to bounce off of. So I don't know who can be that new Morgan Webb or whatever. I've been so kind of, that's the thing. I don't really watch the Twitch streams like a lot of you guys do. I don't watch the Twitch streams or the Facebook or the YouTube. So I don't really know who's popular like that. You all would, and you guys could give me a list of names. I wouldn't even watch them. It's nothing personal. I just don't have time, really. It's like, unless I'm playing the game myself, then I give a shit. But like, for me to watch somebody else play a game, it's like, I'm good. But I think Xavier Woods would do phenomenal as a host on X-Play. Even if you don't give him X-Play, maybe as far as him being the new host of Attack of the Show, I think he would just do phenomenal. But I say, you know what? Let me show Xavier Woods some love. Let me check out Talking Smack. Now, Main reason why I wanted to check out Talking Smack was because Big E had a cake for Xavier on SmackDown. It was Xavier's birthday and all that. And the way that this storyline went, some guy comes for Big E. Hey, Xavier Woods is here. Big E goes, oh, okay, great. Takes the cake. He's looking for Xavier. Sheamus comes from behind, beats the shit out of him, beats him up so bad, he's got to go on an ambulance. Sasha Banks did as well. New update we hear. Both of them got out. Okay, whatever. So I'm watching Talking Smack, and I'm waiting to see, first off, okay, so did Xavier Woods keep his commitment to Talking Smack? And if so, how are we going to explain this whole thing with Big E and everything? Even though this show is 24 minutes long, stay with me, people. Here's the punchline. Even though this show is 24 minutes long, as soon as you tune in, there's Kayla Braxton smiling and no problem right there. There's Xavier Woods smiling and just so excited to be there and Joe gonna have a great time. I'm like, wait a freaking time out. Yo, mans, your brother in arms just got the living shit beat out of him. He got beat so bad, but man had to get put on an ambulance. And we can't have you. Hey, well, you know, Kayla, you know, it's great to be here on Talking Smack. People that's going to be watching this at home, I'm so sorry for the energy right now. Kayla, I'm sorry, but I got to tell you, my mind right now is on my brother, Big E. And Kayla could have just, Xavier, yes, I am so right there with you. For those of you that maybe just caught the tail end of SmackDown, you don't know what we're talking about. We won't have Xavier sit through and watch it again, but you know, we'll pull it up for you guys at home to see. But this is what happened with Big E earlier in the night. Now, Xavier, do you have any type of update maybe you're able to share with us right now on Big E? You know, no, I just know what you guys know, and you know, honestly, I really don't feel comfortable being here right now. You guys gotta excuse me. I'm gonna go right now and be with my brother, or if you're, you know, just to keep up with the storyline continuity, you know, you could have easily just had Kayla and Charlie host Talking Smack. And you could have easily in storyline explained why Xavier Woods was not there. But, you know, he'll definitely be here next week. I would have been fine with that. But no, we just got Xavier Woods just smiling. You know, the pretty big old white team just smiling. And it's so great to be here talking smack. Yeah, and all that other shit. It's like, all right, so this is how we're going to do this show, huh? Okay, whatever, this is how we're gonna do it. Okay. I stopped watching after that. I just was so disappointed in just those first few minutes. I was like, yeah, no bueno. But other than that, yeah, now that was in the first 5 minutes. First 5 minutes of Talking Smack. So I'm sure you guys can understand my irritation and frustration right there. You guys okay with the show so far? You guys having a good time? If you are, do me a favor. Make sure you hit the like. Helps out tremendously. And if you haven't subscribed, do that as well. Appreciate that. I said that we were going to probably go until about maybe an hour and 15 minutes or whatever. But I'm feeling pretty good. Let's keep going. Let's it's still pretty early. I can go up to, I'll tell you what, let's do about 90 minutes. We'll do about 90 minutes, okay? All right. I want to give a shout out to some of our Patreon members. Remember, patreon.com/RCWR show. Check out bonus audio and video content, exclusive content you're not going to be able to find anywhere else. Shout out to Patreon members Justin Ripstock. Shout out to Gino Morgan. Gino! Shout out to my man Tony Bean Gaming. You want the very latest in all things Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Marvel Square Onyx, Avengers, Tony Bean Gaming is your guy. Tips, tricks, news, walkthroughs, reviews. Great Patreon paywall as well. He's on YouTube, youtube.com/Tony Bean Gaming. He's got a Patreon paywall as well. John Davis, Michael Wolf, shout out to you guys. And we have a new Patreon member that's entered the arena. Shout out to, I believe it's Roz. I believe it's Roz. Shout out to Roz. Welcome aboard, my friend. Hope you enjoy the content. Patreon members, I am going to be dropping some content this week. Something was supposed to be uploaded already, and it was actually part of my irritation and frustration earlier because once this individual popped up, me and the missus were supposed to sit down and record a new Wrestling with the Topics for our Patreon audience, and everything was just thrown into a loop today. It was just, can we not do anything today? Weird, just weird. Anyway, I digress. But shout out to Roz, new Patreon member. Roz, shout out to you, buddy. All right, so let's continue on here. Here's where I want to go with this. We got a couple of little wrestling little headlines we can get into. So, you want to hear Andrew Yang or you want to hear WWE? You know, it kind of makes a little bit of sense if we start with Andrew Yang, right? Okay, so Andrew Yang, he causes this big ol'
Look at me tweet. Look at me. I'm talking about wrestling. Look at me.
So if you missed it over the weekend, Andrew Yang really chewed into Vince McMahon and the WWE, just puts up this diatribe of a post. If I'm not the Secretary of Labor, I'm pretty confident I'll have his or her number to talk about the ridiculous classification of WWE wrestlers as independent contractors while controlling their name and likeliness for years, even for something as being as Cameo. Then he follows it up, come on, Vince, you've already deprived the folks breaking their backs for you of healthcare, security, recovery time, retirement benefits, and fair treatment, RE licenses and royalties. At least let them make a living off their own names. Many of them need it. Wait, he's not done. I grew up a wrestling fan, and it's been sad to see so many of my childhood heroes pass away early. Marinate on that for a little bit. I grew up a wrestling fan, and it's been sad to see so many of my childhood heroes pass away early. I'd feel better knowing that they and their families were being fairly treated. I look forward to doing what I can for the next generation of performers. I know how tough it is. Vince, you'd better hope your old friend Donald wins, because change is in the air, and changes are long overdue where your corrupt labor practices are concerned. It would give me great pleasure. The people know. And finally, for all the wrestlers who know that you're being misclassified, but are relying on staying on Vince's good side, even because WWE might hire you, I get it. Our job is to make it easier for you to get what you deserve without risking your career. Now, of course, all of this stems from a statement that supposedly was made by Vince McMahon to talents in a email, basically. A lot of talents just whatever. Other wrestlers were pretty upset at this. Basically, it was an email that went all around. Mark Carrano is the main one we need to home in on, because apparently he said something that entirely was taken way out of context and is essentially kind of what really blew things off or whatever. But, you know, this statement that's put out there. Vince McMahon just reminding the talents, hey, I want to remind you, these contracts that you signed with us, it clearly states that, hey, we own the name, the likeliness, the ring name, blah, 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 blah. And then, you see real name. And everybody just fucking goes batshit. I love you guys. I love you guys tremendously. RCWR Nation, those of you that just casually, you check out the show every week, I love you guys. Because y'all got better sense than most people. I see the age demos. Most of our audience is between the ages of 18 to early 50s. All right, so you guys, you know better. But the amount of crap I was seeing online from people, well, WWE can't do that. They can't just own your name like that. The name that you were given, your birth certificate. They can't. How can they do that? It's like, Jesus Christ, the Latter-day Saints. They don't actually own your birth name. I don't. I'm sorry, but I'm having a hard time.
So you want a job, huh? Well, why don't you sign on the dotted line here, top of your high school diploma? I need to see a birth certificate. You gotta relinquish your birth certificate. Yeah, and your social security card, too. We need all of those, because when you work for us, you're our bitch.
No. I understood completely what Vince was basically trying to say. Okay, so look. You got these third-party platforms. You got the Cameos. You got the Twitches. You got the Facebook gaming. You did have Mixer, but that pretty much is no more. You got Mob Crush and, whoever else you got that's running around. You got all these platforms, though, where, hey, give me $400 and for a whole 90 seconds, I'll do a video for you. Or you got Twitch or whatever, and, hey, watch me play some video games. Or whatever. Watch me talk, whatever, and you're making money as a result. Okay? So, what Vince and WWE were basically saying, they kind of alluded to this in the last quarterly call that they had. Yeah, that was kind of weird. I just saw a weird black screen just now. Did the stream get interrupted for you guys? Let me know. Somebody could leave a comment. Let me know. But it went black. It went black there for a hot second. But anyway, so you got WWE and them, and you're like, hey, look, we can't have you Paige. We can't have you making a Twitch channel, Paige official on Twitch, and we can't have you, making money off of basically a ring name that we gave you. You can't be making profit off of. Now, some of you hear that and you're going, well, wait a minute. Wait the fucking minute. Now, look, I'm not choosing sides here. So before you get ready to lay heavy into me, just hear me out for a second. First off, all due respect to my colleagues that's out there, my friends in the podcasting world, I love you guys tremendously. Those of you that took the time out to do your research and you were able to find out who's making X amount of money. I know for a lot of you guys, you were just reporting it because somebody else had put the information out there. I'm sorry. That's too long-winded for me. And furthermore, that ain't really none of my business. It ain't none of my business to know how much money that this person and this person is making off of whatever platform. Now, if that talent particularly makes it be their business to say on social media, hey man, I had made a killer fucking quarter through blah, blah, blah. These were my gross earnings. And hey, main reason why I'm telling you this is because if you're trying to make money, during these pandemic, difficult times or whatever, during these struggling economic times, I'm telling you, look this up. This will help you. Okay, that's one thing. That individual is making it publicly be known, and this is why, they're trying to help elevate others around them to try and get to where they are, if not better, right? It's a hand up, right? It's a hand to help you up, not a hand out. It's like, okay, all right, I'm down with that. But just, this person made this amount of money off of this. Like, that ain't none of my business. Just how I don't make it be none of my business to ask my best friends and all that in the podcasting world and all that. Hey, how much money are you making off of this? How much money? Just how that's none of my business. I'm not even gonna cross that threshold. All right. So you guys got to forgive me if I don't bring that up. But for me, I'm just kind of old school like that. Teach its own. But you look at what's going on right now in the wrestling industry. You look at the fact that you've got all of these promotions that they're not making any money at the live gates. No money at the live gates. Now they're doing what they can with the websites. There's a reason why you keep seeing Pro Wrestling Tees. We got this sale going on for shirts and all this wrestling merchandise. There's a reason why, like tonight, for instance, WWEshop.com. Get t-shirts as low as $12. There's a reason why you keep seeing all these cool little sales that's going on and everything. They're trying to make up money where they can. For a lot of states in the U.S., a lot of states, come on, where's the green light for phase 3 where we can operate music venues, live outdoor events, blah, 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 at 75% capacity. What's going on with that? Help us out here. Da, 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 da. And it's like, nah, we need these COVID cases to go down a bit more before we can even entertain the idea of phase 3. All right, so the wrestling industry as a whole, monetary wise, it's hurting right now. It's hurting like a motherfucker. Talents that, okay, yeah, normally I'm paid by appearance. I'm paid every single time this company decides they want me to come in and do something. I'm paid, per appearance. Okay, well, no, we got to take that off the board because, I used to be able to bring in this amount guaranteed, but with the whole pandemic going on and everything, now I'm only able to bring in this amount. So you know what? I ask you all, I'm used to making a certain amount, and now my hands are tied because that's drastically been cut by a third and half, whatever. Okay, well, what am I going to do? Going to do like most people in any respected country, especially when times are tough. All right, whatever I need to do to bring in that extra bit of income so I can continue to afford my living, my lifestyle of living, be able to continue to provide for my family, so be it. I'm going to continue to do just that. So if these talents are going to Cameo, if they are going to Twitch or whoever they're going to, whoever they decide they want to go to, that's their fucking business. That's their fucking business. Now, Vince and WWE do have them dead to rights when it comes to that contract. Not for nothing. I can remember somewhere between maybe 3 to 5 years ago, we went over a WWE contract. I can't exactly remember the circumstances. I want to say it tied into somebody's release and everybody was just in an uproar over the release. And I remember I was just going through particular portions of the contract that had everybody go, oh shit, he's bringing it tonight. I'm like, yeah, I do my research too. I mean, so not for nothing, but these WWE contracts, I mean, you can easily Bing, Google search, you can find a WWE contract. These contracts haven't aged. It's not like they're revamped every year. It's like literally the same fucking contract that 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. It's like literally the same fucking contract. So Vince and WWE do have them dead to rights when you have an individual. I'm not trying to home in on anybody in particular, but the first wrestler that comes into my mind, to my knowledge, he doesn't even have a cameo. If he does, I don't know anything about it. But let's just go with Otis for a second. Let's just say Otis created a cameo page a couple of weeks ago. Cameo.com/Otis. You go there.
Oh yeah, I'll do anything you want me to do. Oh yeah, I'll eat a sandwich while rubbing oil on my belly. Oh yeah, tell me what you want me to do.
Whatever the case may be, you get the point. Okay, that's a problem from a legal standpoint from WWE. Because as far as WWE is concerned, wait a minute. We didn't give you permission to go to this platform and do XYZ with your character. We damn sure didn't give you permission to make a profit off of a character in which, legal wise, we own the rights to the copyright, the trademark, blah this, blah that. Now, the morale wise, does it make it right? No, it doesn't, because at the end of the day, what these men and women are trying to do, they're trying to somehow supplement income. They're trying to somehow make up for what they are now lacking in. Simple workaround with that shit. Instead of,
oh yeah, oh you, I'm Otis.
No, now you just, whatever your real name is. Hey everybody, I'm Steve Dillon. You all may know me from TV. If you need me to cut anything for you on Cameo, this is why I'm here. And Paige is a really good example of that. I know Paige over the weekend, she put out a simple tweet. Nope. I mean, you already knew what she was saying. Like, fuck you. Man, she changed her Twitch. It was her Twitch. She changed her Twitch handle so damn fast, it wasn't even funny. That's how you do it. She changed it over to her real name. That's how most of the other talents need to do it. Look, it is no different. And look, we already know the game that WWE is trying to play ultimately. What they're trying to do ultimately is just like with everything else, with every other platform, they are trying to put themselves in a position where, oh, you know what? We can tap into that platform as well. That is money that we can tap into as well. We got to get our piece of that pie as well. Because see, as long as they're getting their cut of the pie, ain't no reason for them to be fussing. You understand? That's why there is this big old shitstorm that's going on right now. Because when it's all said and done, WWE isn't getting their respected piece of the pie. And when you're not getting your respected piece of the pie, there's going to be some problems. I like what CM Punk had said, which is basically, hey, not for nothing, but there was ever a time for you guys to, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said there was ever a time for you all to stick together. Y'all could do XYZ. He kind of was sounding like Jesse the Body Ventura there from back in the day. There's nothing wrong with that. But no, if WWE is saying, hey, nah, man, you can't be making money off of... Now, that whole thing about real name and all that's in the contract. Okay, so basically, I would imagine that what they're essentially saying, and that is definitely going to have to be reworked a bit, obviously. But I think what they're basically trying to say is, hey guys, I'm Alan Jones. This is my Twitch channel. Y'all know me, Alan Jones, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, as seen on WWE, blah, 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 blah. Subscribe to my Twitch channel. The gay people, whatever. Talking about inside stuff that's going on in WWE. And I would imagine all of that is just a big no. You shouldn't be doing that, because that's going to put you in some type of legal yakety yak. And you don't want that. But I would imagine if you're just coming on there and you're just, hey guys, Alan Jones here. What's up? Make sure, or in this case, if you own the copyright and the trademark to your name or whatever, hey, this is so and so. Hey, make sure you subscribe to my, I'm playing all types of games every single day, blah, 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 yakety smackety. And you're not talking anything said promotion related. Okay, you know what? You just worked around that. You just got to be smart. There's a way you can do it, make your money. But I think what WWE is trying to do, they're first of all, what they're trying to use is intimidation. Because if they really meant well, you know, what they should be doing is saying, look, you know, you can't be doing XYZ with your ring name, of which we own the copyright and trademark too. Like, no. Now, if you need tips and advice for working around that so you can continue to do what you need to do, because we understand, you know, everybody's hurting right now during this pandemic, you know, we're more than likely to help you out. That's the morale wise, that's the correct thing that a promotion, that an employer should be doing for their employees. But this honestly feels more along the lines of, now we want to tap into that market as well. We want to get our piece of that pie as well. We're watching this person get 100% profit. We're not getting in a piece of that action. And I think ultimately that's what WWE is going to try and do. I hope that the talents remain diligent. I hope that they all stick together. And no, it's like, you know, no, you're not getting a piece of that money. You can forget about it. You know what it reminds me of? It's no different than what goes on with us content creators. I can't tell you how many times over the years I have opened up my email and I have gotten a message from somebody. You have a great, and it's usually either somebody from Japan or somebody from Singapore, India, or whatever. But usually it's somebody from Japan. Yeah, you have great content on your channel, and we want to bring you in for partnership. Yes, we want to bring you in for partnership. Through us, you bring in good money with us. Yeah, you sign with us and you make lots of money. And you're like, oh, well, this sounds kind of good. So the money, it's going to be split. So out of 100%, we get 60%. And then YouTube, we'll use YouTube for example, YouTube will get 30% and you get the rest. Like, wait, what kind of deal is that? Like, as it stands right now, I'm getting like a 80% cut for myself and YouTube's getting 20%. Like, why the fuck should I bring you in? We give you more exposure. You know, it is, you know, and it could be a fucking Indian person representing some Indian company. Sign with us. Sign with us. Sign with us. You'll make good money. You know, come on, man. You got nothing to lose. Sign with us. You got nothing. Come on, sign. Sign. But you're missing out on a really great deal. You'd be the fool to not sign up with us. You know, they try to pressure you. They think that because, oh man, you know, this is doing so good. Oh, we gotta try to get a piece of that action. We gotta try. And it's like, no, fuck you. This is my money. Go get your own. You know, seriously. So let me tell you something. We're going back to Andrew Yang. Just going back to him for a second. Y'all need to be woke. Because this is the oldest fucking trick in the book. The oldest fucking trick in the book. You got politicians. I don't want to get too heavy and too philosophical, but y'all should know this game by now. Y'all got politicians that will try to play to the beat of a particular base. especially if they know, you know what, I didn't do so well this go round between these age demographics and these genders and specifically, this race. How come? Why was I? I'm almost kind of reminded of an episode of The Honeymooners I had saw earlier today, Young at Heart. Look that episode up when you get a chance. And the episode, in a nutshell, just to kind of even bring up the synopsis, Ralph decides that his wife Alice is right, that they need to try to be more hip, that they need to try to be more current on everything that's happening around them. So as a result of that, Ralph tries to do this whole overhaul transformation to make himself be hip and everything. And so to hear Andrew Yang, this diatribe of all this other stuff that's going on. And it's like, okay, so where the fuck were you, some years ago? Like, where the fuck were you when WWE was getting ready to do their thing in Saudi Arabia? And everybody was complaining when that Khashoggi guy got assassinated and everything. Andrew Yang, where the fuck were you when it came to WWE back then? I don't remember hearing anything about this guy. This man calls himself a lifelong wrestling fan. And remember the line that I told you guys to remember and marinate on? It was a line that he said earlier with regards to seeing a lot of wrestlers die young. Let's pull that line up one more time. So I want to make sure we're not taking our dude out of context here. All right, he said, and I quote, "I grew up as a wrestling fan, and it's been sad to see so many of my childhood heroes pass away early." I'm sorry, I would have came right back at him. He's 45 years of age. He was born in 1975. Okay, so obviously he lived through the Benoit tragedy. He lived through the Eddie Guerrero tragedy. He lived through the Owen Hart tragedy. So the first thing I'm coming at him with is, okay, well, Andrew, you say that you grew up a wrestling fan and it's been sad to see so many of your childhood heroes pass away early. What people are you talking about? Can you give some examples? What talents are you talking about? Because I legit want to know what talents is he talking about that's making him so sad to see that they passed away so early, and the whole I'd feel better knowing that they and their families were being fairly treated. Now, when I think about the passing of Owen Hart, all the legal stuff that went down with Martha Hart and everything. Look, when it's all said and done, they got a substantial good amount of money. And any of us that had saw the episode of Dark Side of the Ring, Martha Hart was able to do a lot of good with that money, was she not? We look at the Eddie Guerrero passing. We look at that. The Guerreros have been doing okay for themselves. Have they not? They've been doing pretty good for themselves. Who's left? Chris Benoit. All right, the Chris Benoit tragedy, we all remember that. Hell, we heard from Chris Benoit's son himself on Dark Side of the Ring. How nobody in WWE just turned a blind eye to him. He don't exist. His daddy don't exist. Just all the way around, wrestling industry as a whole, pretty much only people that's continued to be in his life, Chris Jericho, Chavo Guerrero, basically. I don't know, is Andrew Yang maybe talking about, somebody like that? Is Andrew Yang maybe talking about Viscera? Is he talking about Viscera? Because that was a little bit fucked up how the WWE didn't step in and, hey, You know, we'll do what we can for your husband for the amount of years that he gave us here. You know, we'll make sure we give him a nice, good, proper burial, blah this, blah that. Cassandra Frazier, wasn't that his ex-wife's name? Viscera's ex-wife's name? All right, so I remember her causing a little bit of ruckus. You can actually go on the YouTube channel and you could look up the archives. I remember when we had talked about that. So I don't know. Is he talking about Viscera? Is he talking about Kamala Harris? Not vice president, but Kamala, the wrestler. Is he talking about maybe Kamala Harris? Because leading up to his passing and everything, that was kind of sad hearing about the whole financial hardship that he continued to have. At one point, he was getting ready to lose his home. So I need to know, who exactly is Andrew Yang talking about when he says, I grew up a wrestling fan, and it's been sad to see so many of my childhood heroes pass away early. So that's my first question to him, right? And then the second part to that is, where the fuck have you been all these years as a wrestling fan? Like, seriously, where have you been? You know, it's no different than any politician that says, oh, I need your vote. I'm telling you, folks, I'll do right by you. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll do this. I'll do that. It's like, okay, you're telling me all these things that you're going to be doing, but yet when it counts to, well, what are you doing right now? I can't find you doing anything right now. You're telling me something that is potentially going to happen in the future if I do business with you. But my question to you is, what are you doing right now? What are you doing right now to help put the spotlight on yourself and your intentions? Be it pure, good, whatever, you know, but what are you doing right now that's going to have an impact on that future where you're trying to get me to vote for you or whatever? I mean, this is the first time, I gotta tell you, ever since the whole shit went down with the Democratic, God, what's the word I'm looking for? The Democratic debate. Ever since everybody was just dropping off like fly, I haven't heard shit from Andrew Yang. I have not heard shit from Andrew Yang. If Andrew Yang was doing shit for the Black Lives Movement, I ain't hear jack shit about it. News to me. If Andrew Yang was participating in a march, peaceful protests, talking about police reform and some other shit, guess what? I don't know jack shit about it. If Andrew Yang... Hey Google, what's Andrew Yang's net worth?
Here's a summary from the website en.wikipedia.org.
Here we go. Let's listen.
Media outlets have provided several estimates of Yang's net worth. $1 million according to Forbes, between $834,000 and $2.4 million according to the Wall Street.
Hey Google, stop. All right, so he's somewhere between 1 million and about 3 million. That's his net worth. Okay. Yo, what's he doing as far as donating money to Boys and Girls Club? Or, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I ain't hear nothing. I mean, this just feels so fucking random, and with reason. And with reason. We know that the current president and his administration, we know the ties that they have to the McMahon family. We know that. And this is somebody that honestly just comes off like, and look, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I ain't defending the president and the administration. There's a lot of things that I'm seeing I ain't liking. I ain't liking. I'm gonna leave it at that. Again, we don't really like digging all heavy and deep into the political stuff, but this whole Andrew Yang shit and all that, I really need you people to be woke. The NBA just recently came back. NBA is talking about how, you know what, we got all our owners on board for this election season and all elections going forward. All the arenas in the United States, they're going to be turned into voting stations, because that's been the number one problem that a lot of people have been having these past several elections. You got a town of 500,000 and there's only 2 voting stations you can go to. What travesty. Okay, where was Andrew Yang to, I want to help out the NBA and I'm here to loan my resources to them, and yeah, it's very important to vote. I ain't hear jack shit. My challenge to anybody, show me any article out there from any of the examples that I just pointed out, and Andrew Yang was fucking on it. He did something. Rather than talk, he actually did something. And I'll gladly mention it. I'll sing the gospel. I will sing his praises. Y'all need to understand when somebody is just trying to play your strings to get you to think and feel a certain way, get you all nice and worked up. Yeah. What you understand when somebody is just saying something just to get themselves over, just to get those likes, those hearts, those retweets, and all that other shit. Nobody really wants to rock the boat. They want to kind of look like the side that, look at this, big as bad as I am. Ain't I great? Ain't I great for standing my own two grounds here and trying to put this big tyrant in their place? And like, this is the other thing that I kept noticing when everybody was talking about, oh, how dare Vince, how dare WWE, how dare da. Well, boys and girls, not for nothing, but these men and women, grown ass men and women, from the moment that they sat down with their respected legal representation. So how that paperwork look to you? Anything particular you want to bring to my attention? Anything that kind of looks a little fishy or whatever?
No, everything looks great, as far as I can tell. Everything looks fantastic. I mean, honestly, no problem. It's everything that you would want. You can go ahead, sign.
So, between that talent that's signing the contract, the legal representation that they have that's helping them understand what the mumbo jumbo yakety yak means in the contract, a lot of these talents, they know the bottom line. Look, a couple of years ago, we went over parts of the contract. It's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory for anybody to understand a WWE contract. My point is, these contracts are not given to these talents in such a forcible fashion where sign on the dotted line or you're going to get your head blown off. It's nothing along those lines. They know what they are getting themselves into way before they even sign it. It ain't no different than when we sign all the paperwork that comes to working for a new employer. Oh, you can't do this. You can't do that. You do this, you're out of a job. You do this, blah, blah, blah. And, you can't act like, well, I didn't know that. Like, we went over it as you were signing your contract, or we went over it as you were signing your employment papers. We handed you a workplace book, rules and regulations and everything. Went over key points with you and everything. What do you mean you didn't know? Okay, well, we're going to reiterate it to you again. We're going to remind you, and we're going to have you put your initials right here so that we know that because we spoke to you about this. So if this comes up again, we can just pull out this document and say, no, we talked to you about this before. We got your initials right here. I think that before this week is out, we're going to learn a lot more. I think Vince is obviously going to be following up with the talents and, really let them know, no, look, taken out of context, this is actually what I had meant. And I think, honestly, when he gets right down to the heart of the matter, I think he just basically means, look, we can't have you using our name and likeliness to get yourselves over on third-party platforms, and you're not even giving us a piece of the action, per your contract. Now, I would imagine Xavier Woods, his Up, Down, Down channel, man, they're doing something. They got some type of a relationship going. He and WWE, that is. They got some type of relationship going on. I would think to a certain degree Cesaro might have something going on with WWE as well. Asuka may, but then I haven't really been looking at Asuka's channel like that, so I wouldn't be surprised if she might even be going under a different name, teach its own. But yeah, that and but the Andrew Yang thing, that just really fucking, because while everybody is just yeah, it's like, where the fuck was this guy? He's 45 years old. Okay, so he's a wrestling fan. Where was this man years prior? Andrew Yang, you're such a big fucking wrestling. Where were you when Kamala needed help with the fucking surgery there? Complications of diabetes. Where were you when he lost his first leg? Where were you, Andrew Yang? I want to know. Where were you? Andrew Yang, where were you the second time Kamala had lost his second leg? Where were you when Kamala was trying to ask for money from a Kickstarter and all that other shit? Where were you? Net worth of like $3 million or whatever. That's your net worth? Okay. Where were you? Where were you when, who was the wrestler that their house had burned down or something like that a couple of years ago? Was that Ricochet or Mustafa Ali? Whichever one of those guys. Andrew Yang, where were you? When Shad Gaspard unfortunately passed away. Died a fucking hero. Family was setting up the GoFundMe and all that other. Andrew Yang, where were you? So you understand the point that I'm trying to make? Like, where is the established history to support that this person was somewhat of a lifelong wrestling fan or whatever? Where were they? First time I've ever heard anything of this. You know what? I'm like this. I have a saying. If you're a fan of something, there's no reason to be in the closet about it. Put it out there with pride. I mean, not for nothing, but, if Andrew Yang was as big of a wrestling fan as he proclaims himself to be, where was Andrew Yang when Kane had became mayor? And how long has Kane been mayor now? Let's see here. Glenn Jacobs. Let's just see how long he's been mayor now. Electoral history. That's where we want to go. I'm not seeing it offhand. Hang on. I think I might have it here. 2018, it looks like. Where was Andrew Yang then? There is so much shit that has gone down in the past 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. How long has Twitter been in existence now? Hasn't Twitter been around for like 12 years now or some shit? Where the fuck was Andrew Yang? So I need you guys to understand when you see somebody that's playing on social media like a guy like Andrew Yang is trying to play the game on social media, I need you guys to be smart, and I need you guys to come in with your questions. Be savvy about it, and you'd be surprised how many people you can fucking catch in a white hot lie that's just trying to say and do whatever because they have their own respected agenda, which honestly is all about getting themselves over by any means necessary, trying to play up to a particular base, all that other shit. That's it in a nutshell. Be woke. I would rather, I gotta be on, if Andrew Yang was this disgusted about some of the things that he was seeing and hearing over these past 15, 20 years, however long he's been in the position that he's been in with his money and, his own business and all that other shit, okay, well, where is he talking to Jesse the Body Ventura? Where is he maybe, hey, look, I'm trying to run for president, and as far as who'd be a good VP or somebody that's going to be part of my cabinet, give me some type of a connection to wrestling, since you're this wrestling fan. Nothing. So be smarter, people. Please be smart. enough said on that. I ain't got nothing else I want to say about that. All right, so a couple of little tidbits we can get into before we get ready to roll out here. We're doing pretty good on Showtime. Trying to see if there's any other topics we can get into before we get ready to roll out here. Oh, that's sad. You know what? I am just now seeing you guys have been chatting the whole time, and I'm like, why isn't the chat popping up in whatchamacall? And hang on a second here, guys. Let's see here. There we go. So now, as you guys just saw, now what you guys are saying in the chat has scrolled up there. Let me catch up real quick here, guys. That sucks. That sucks. All right, let's see what we got here. What we got here? Ask question. Don't think Buddy Murphy is big deal. Doesn't deserve to be Seth Rollins. Don't get hype around him. Get hype if turn on Seth. Alyssa, I love you, honey, and I know that's not a question. I know that's not a question that you're asking. But I'm gonna let you in on something in case you don't know. Most people feel the exact same way that you do with regards to Buddy Murphy. And Alyssa, again, I love you. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but in some shape or form, every time you post, you are always talking about your disgust for Seth Rollins. I need you to get off of that. I'm going to tell you like I tell anybody else. If the only thing you can focus on is negative, then it's time for you to switch it up and you focus on some elements that, okay, well, you know what? From this show, this is what made me happy this week. That's my best advice to you and to everybody else. I could have easily came on here and it would have been real easy for me to just take a massive shit on WWE RAW for about 30 minutes. But I cherried out good parts that I did find enjoyable. For the record, I enjoyed seeing Cedric Alexander defect over to the Hurt Business. I enjoyed that. For what it was worth, I also had enjoyed the brief little interactions there that Keith Lee had with Randy Orton, the continued protection of Keith Lee. You know, we've yet to see him cleanly eat a pin or take a submission in a match. You know, so he's continuing to be booked rather smart. I put over fucking Dominic. I know I had my laughs there with the whole Acme there, with Mysterio family beating the shit out of Murphy, but for what it was worth, Dominic entertained. He rose to the occasion yet again in that street fight match. It was fucking phenomenal. As far as I was concerned, it was good shit. You know, so to each its own, but there's elements that you can find. And if you can't find anything with some of these shows that you're watching on a weekly basis, here's my advice to you. Maybe it's time you check out something else altogether. You know, but people like Alyssa and everybody else, please, you know, if you can only home in on just one thing for an entire 3 hours to talk about weekly, you got to ask yourself, wait a minute. Is there something personal going on here that I have against this particular talent? Or am I just that engulfed in that I'm not really taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture of things? All right, let's see what else you guys had said here. I gotta catch up here. See what else did I miss here? Just catching up on what you guys are saying here. No, the show was not taped. CJ was asking if the show was taped. No, the show was not taped. I just couldn't see what the hell you guys were saying in the chat. Let's see what else you guys. And other than that, let's see here. Hang on. Yeah, it looks like I'm pretty much caught up now on what everybody is saying here. All right, so let's keep going. I got a couple other little tidbits I can get into real quick here. Let me just peep out the show notes here. So, AOP was released by WWE. We kind of just briefly glanced over it the last time we were on the air. By the way, I haven't been paying attention to the time. I'm just feeling a little good, but I got like 2 more things I want to get into, and then we're pretty much just gonna wrap it up. But real quick, AOP, they were released. I don't really know what more I should say about the AOP release. I mean, I'll kind of leave that up to you guys, but it kind of sucks because they came into WWE at 2016's NXT TakeOver The End by attacking America Alpha, if you guys remember that. Jason Jordan, Chad Gable. Man, they were having some great ass tag matches back then. And this was after they lost the NXT tag titles to the Revival. And Paul Ellering had first aligned himself with AOP there. Then they won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic by defeating TM61 in the finals at NXT TakeOver Toronto. They had the feud that was going on with DIY that culminated in AOP becoming tag champs at NXT TakeOver San Antonio. Feud continuing on not only with DIY, but a new element was thrown into the mix as they were also feuding with the Revival. Everything culminated in the first ever triple threat ladder tag team match for the tag titles at NXT TakeOver Orlando, of which they retained. Actually, you know what? The first ever ladder match for the NXT tag titles was against DIY, which they won at NXT TakeOver Chicago. That's the one that I'm thinking of. Feud with Sanity. They even feuded with Undisputed Era there for a hot minute. Last times that they challenged for the tag titles, it was against Undisputed Era and Pete Dunne, who teamed up with Roderick Strong. That was an unsuccessful challenge. Get the call up to the main roster, and pretty much everything was relatively shitty from there. From the moment that Drake Maverick was attached to them, no Paul Ellering. AOPPPPP. It was just shitty after that. Just very shitty. And then from there, injuries to one of those guys. One's healthy. Okay, we can do this again. The other one goes out. Okay, the other one's waiting. Okay, all right, we're back. Let's do it again. And not injured. So injuries really got the best of these guys. Things never really seemed to take off when they were henchmen for Seth Rollins. Never really seemed to take off. So, you know, it's a bit sad that they got released because we never really were able to see truly what these guys were capable of on the main roster. That's the sad part. You know, we never really saw them. Okay, you're healthy. Here you go. You can go a full year, no health problems. Let's see what you can do. You know, we never really got that from them. But I will double down on what I had said earlier, which is, I said it early last week when I briefly talked about this. I don't see this being a case where, like the Revival, it's not like that. Like Enzo and Kaz, there's a big difference when it comes to Akeem and Razir. Sadly, they kept getting stop and go when they finally were on the main roster. They really were not able to build up their cachet. They were not able to truly build up their portfolio when they were on the main roster. So this is not going to be a case where, I'm letting you guys know straight up, I damn sure ain't seeing AEW. Yeah, we want these guys. I'm not seeing that happen. Unless Revival are the guys that put in a good word for them, I'm just not seeing them there. I can see Revival showing up. I can see AOP showing up in Impact Wrestling. Depending on how their finances are, I could even entertain the idea of seeing them maybe in New Japan. More unlikely, but I can't see that. But it really depends on how hungry they want to continue to stay in the business. But those that think that they're gonna be overnight sensations, AEW, or it's sadly not going to be the case. If they had one full year and healthy at that on the main roster, good marquee main event matches and everything on TV shows, and having some good caliber pay-per-view matches, that'd be an entirely different story. I would be singing a different tune, but I'm not seeing anything for them happening to that level. Just not. So it sucks. It really does. But if they're serious about staying together and staying involved in the wrestling business, best of luck to them. That's all I gotta say. Best of luck to them. Also, this was kind of sad. I didn't really get a chance to talk about this, but I'm gonna close out with this. Rest in peace to Eric Morello. That name kind of sounds familiar to you all. He was a music producer and DJ. He was the guy that was responsible for, and I know a lot of people are, oh yeah, the song from Madagascar, but nah. Sorry, nah. But he's the one that did the song, I like to move it. You like to move it. A little technical, techno dance song or whatever. Kind of sad how he passed away at the time that we're doing the show for you guys right now. Miami Beach, they said to USA Today, it looks like he was found dead in his home in Miami Beach following a 911 call last Tuesday morning. Detectives went to the scene and they pretty much began the preliminary stages of an investigation. Doesn't look like there were any signs of foul play, but the investigation remains open. Morello's cause of death yet to be determined, but it will be determined by the Miami-Dade Medical Examiner's Office, and we may not know what's going on with that cause of death for several weeks. So the timing of this is interesting too, because his death comes just about a month after he was arrested on a felony charge of sexual battery. He had been free on a $25,000 bond, and his next hearing was scheduled, check this, last week, right before the Labor Day weekend. That's when he was scheduled to go in. So, according to the arrest report, there was an unidentified woman that told police she went to Morello's residence after a party back in December. She said she was intoxicated and fell asleep in his bedroom, fully clothed. She said later when she woke up naked, with Morello standing beside the bed, also naked. The woman called 911 and went to a rape treatment center where she received a sexual battery kit. Morello told police he did not engage in sexual intercourse with the woman and provided officers with a sample of his DNA. The woman told police she never consented to sex with Morello prior to falling asleep. In July, police received the results of the woman's kit, which showed a positive match for Morello's DNA. And that's where things pretty much, my mama used to have a saying, not to sound like Forrest Gump, but she used to have a saying, which is karma has a funny way of sometimes being a bitch. So, if he did do what he did, and he gave the statements that he gave to the police, no, I didn't do anything to her, nothing at all. And one, well, we got a positive match. Your DNA's on her or in her, whatever. And he was still, no. And karma has a funny way of catching up to a motherfucker. Kind of sad when you hear that. Yeah, he passed away though, so young, only 49. And when you see some of the last batches of pictures floating around of the guy, he held up pretty damn well. Nice, good build and everything. Nice and skinny. Looked like he was, maybe kind of working out a little bit and everything. Definitely took me back to when I was, like 11, 12, definitely going into the first couple of years as a teenager. Going back to that time in the late 80s and 90s, early 90s, with the music that was running around back then. I mean, definitely him. Of course, D-Light, one of my all-time favorite fucking bands. And I think I mainly like that band because, and even to this day, I still have such a huge crush on Lady Miss Kerr. I love her tremendously. Groove is in the Heart. Oh man, she's just, man, she's a cute little Jezebel. The Mortal Kombat soundtrack from 1995. I mean, you had a great who's who on there, including Typo Negative. I mean, just beginning to end, you can listen to that Mortal Kombat soundtrack. I mean, it definitely screamed techno. Gillette, eeny weeny teeny weeny, don't want no short dick, man. That. Hey, I never got mad listening to that song because I never had a fucking problem in that damn department. Ladies, I used to go, I used to spread it around, goddammit. Like, have it all, man. I ain't getting no complaints about that. So I just used to be bobbing my head, jamming with my friends, listening to that song. We ain't have a problem with the girls when it came to that. But that was our joint. Of course, CC Music Factory. Everybody dance now. I'll make you sweat. Oh, baby, I've got the power. I still remember they pretty much had like a Milli Vanilli thing that was going on with them. The hot, voluptuous black woman that was, dancing and all that. Nice chest, cute face, nice pretty white teeth and everything. Turns out she wasn't really the singer of that song. All those music videos that you were saying, Gonna Make You Sweat, Got the Power and all that, that wasn't her. That was a woman by the name of Martha Walsh. There's actually an episode of Unsung that you guys can see of Martha Walsh, and she talks all about it. And long story short, the people that she was working with at the time, they basically just had her record, a bunch of parts here and there, and without getting her permission, they basically used her vocal parts for CC and the Music Factory for a lot of those songs. And when she found out about it, one of the first ways that she found out about it, she saw a music video. I think it was Gonna Make You Sweat. And she's like, wait a minute, that's my fucking vocals. What the hell? And she reached out to the producers, label, and was like, hey, what's going on here? Why is this person singing my parts? Those are my parts. And she was trying to find a peaceful resolution and everything. And ultimately she had to take them to court. And that's why when you see the music videos for them joints now, now you get the Marsha Walsh credit and usually the fine black woman that's in there lip syncing and everything. Now they pretty much got to give her a separate credit as well and all that. But that whole thing was just ugly. Zelma Davis, I think is the actress or the model that's in those videos. Also Bazaar N featuring Angie Brown. That was another good techno group. Speaking of techno group, Technotronic. Everybody should know about Technotronic. Pump the jam, pump it up. Pump the jam. Technotronic. Get Up. That was by them as well. A lot of people have the misconception that, pump the jam and all that. A lot of people have the misconception that, it's this girl that's basically Technotronic. But Technotronic is essentially this white guy. I don't know if he was from London or what, but it's really just one guy. Think Trent Reznor is 9 Inch Nails. Well, Technotronic was essentially this this is really this one white guy who just had a knack for sounds and all that, and he was kind of able to bring in people to sing on his beats and shit. That's pretty much what you had in a nutshell. Of course, CeCe Peniston. I gotta make sure I show her some love. There was actually a great episode of Unsung that was done on her, and boy, as far as the techno scene goes, she got a lot of love from all aspects, dance clubs and all that, especially. But in her own right, she was pretty good as well. So I mean, a lot of good times there. I remember as a kid just listening to a lot of those songs and just bobbing my head and shit. I was into all of that, man. Besides the rap, hip hop, rock and metal and all that, I was back in that time period. I was very big on my fucking techno. Very big on my techno. Love my techno. But look that up. There was actually a really good episode of Unsung that was done on Martha Walsh, talking about the whole CC Music Factory and all that. I'm hoping that, now that, well, it really depends, don't it? But I love watching Unsung. I was kind of thinking about it earlier today. They've yet to do an episode of Unsung on The System. Talk about an underrated band. They got to do one on them. They've also got to do one on George Duke. I mean, George Duke was like the fucking Quincy Jones of R&B, jazz. I mean, you could connect so many artists to George Duke. It's not even fucking funny. I definitely would love to see one on D-Light, for sure. Surprisingly, they've yet to do one on the Dells. They've done one on the Delphonics, but they've yet to do one on the Dells. Surely they did one on the Dells and I just fucking missed it. But yeah, check that out if you get a chance. All right. I'm happy that we gave you guys a nice regular show. It makes me feel really fucking good. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to say this show is in the books. I'm going to call it DONE done. I am going to be live with you guys again Tuesday night, later tonight. We'll be live talking about NXT Fallout. We'll also talk about AEW as well. I will definitely sound off about some of the key things that happened with regards to AEW's All Out pay-per-view event. I did manage to check out some of the highlights. I know a lot of you guys are curious what I have to say, especially with the whole Matt Hardy situation. So Tuesday night, we'll be talking about that. So tune in for that. And in the meantime, please make sure you get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. To those of you that's going to be waiting for the audio version of this, I'm going to say at this point, let me just check one thing here. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to put the audio out tonight. Let me just check one thing. Yeah, I'm going to say for the audio version of tonight's show, I'm actually going to release it Tuesday night. I'll probably most likely release it maybe as soon as I get in from work. That's probably how I'll do it. And then the NXT coverage, I think we're just going to have that. I'm picturing for that, we'll just have the webcast of that stream on YouTube, Twitch, Periscope. And then as far as the audio version, I'm just going to make a exclusive audio version ad-free for our Patreon audience. We'll do it like that. But yeah. So Tuesday night, NXT, AEW. And then after that, the next time I'm going to be live on the air with you guys, if I'm looking at my calendar right here, and I am, next time we'll be live, it's going to be on Friday, September the 11th. We'll be live after SmackDown goes off the air. So make sure you tune in for that as well. That should be good. We can definitely dive into some listener questions and some more stuff. Okay? So, hey, before I roll, please, once again, you had a good time. Enjoy the show tonight. Please leave the likes. They help out tremendously. I can't tell you how much it helps out. They really do. And definitely stay connected on social media. Until next go around, wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. Those of you that was checking out the show live, thanks for showing up. Those of you that's gotten this far and you're checking out the show on demand, much love. We'll do this again very shortly. By the way, my pick for your new NXT champion, I'm going to go with Finn Balor. You notice he's still there. So I might be on to something there. We'll see what happens. All right. Take care, y'all. Peace.